March 14th, 2026. On an unseasonably warm March, it's another episode of the Very Terrible Podcast with me, Jason.
And Lori, but it's a very unseasonable March day.
It's hot.
No, but what I'm saying is you said unseasonable March.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's
That's
unseasonably hot.
Yeah.
It's been just ridiculous. I think when we look back on this winter will be known as the temperature extreme winter. We had extreme cold days.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was. And then extremely hot days, just almost back to back. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I have no idea why.
Well, what should it have been?
I don't know, but I just feel like, but we had summertime temperatures this week at like 88
but not
degrees.
as hot as summer, which is like 97.
Yeah, the humidity wasn't there. And then the cold was amazing. Mm-hmm. There was frost warnings, and we had snow in Florida, and my gosh, we had dead iguanas everywhere, thousands of iguanas.
But were they dead or were they just...
they were euthanized.
Oh.
Yeah. Another thing you had to euthanize them because they are an invasive species.
Oh, I just thought they would thaw out and come back to life.
Oh, they would.
Okay. But a lot of them got the X.
Yeah, they basically put them in bags, and then the silly people who didn't know any better would put them in their bags, and they'd put them in their cars to drive them to the places where they were doing the euthanizations, but they would warm up in the bags, and they'd off they go.
That's not good.
No, but it really is interesting as how many species of animals, especially down here, because we'll have family from different parts of the country that don't have to deal with these things, but we have some are invasive species, like our iguanas. Some are invasive but okay, like the manatees. And then some are just okay, even though they're just a pain in the ass, like those owls.
Oh, yeah, I cannot stand those little bastards.
We have burrowing owls. Ugh. I don't even know what they're called, sand burrowing owls. And for whatever reason, they've said that they are endangered. Mm-hmm. There's no way.
Yeah, so we're not allowed to move them from wherever I can't stand them. Yeah,
they're little assholes. They're not nice at all.
That's why I don't like them. It's not because I don't like owls. I don't like those owls because they're nasty and they're mean. And they come at you. I don't like how they are around the dog. You walk past them and they make all those noises, hissing at you.
Yeah. But it makes you pay attention. But as soon as they dig a hole in your yard in Florida, then if somebody sees this and reports it, then the authorities, I guess, I don't even know who it is, Crow or the wildlife or those people come in and they stake out your yard, and you can't mow around that while that nest is there. And there's no way. Every block in our city has multiple owl,
burrowing
crosses
section,
and then sections are cordoned off, and there's no way that they'd ever do another count that they'd be endangered still. I think the things that are endangered, believe it or not, are the coyotes, because we've developed the whole city over, but then those aren't exactly nice either, because they'll come after your pets.
There was that coyote when by the bus stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was crazy. We saw it run around.
Well,
and
this was their home before we got here, and that's the thing, is they keep hiding in the little few areas
where they
that
can.
Are left. Yeah, and then we just keep developing, and eventually they'll have nowhere to go. It has been a interesting week on social media, with all of the different news happenings and things going on. But the one that has taken the internet by storm is CEOs eating hamburgers. So
not eating hamburgers.
Or lack thereof. Now, as a former McDonald's employee, I can feel like I can talk about this just a little bit, because we had a situation where we released, it was called the McDeluxe or something deluxe back in the 90s.
Okay.
And corporate came into our restaurant, and they didn't have like the TV cameras or anything like that, but they would bring in these other investors or whatever, and we had to make the sandwich, and they gave us little cards, and when they would ask us how the sandwich was, we'd have to memorize like the one sentence on the card.
But it wasn't a commercial?
No, it was like they were bringing in local investors to try to open more franchises.
So wait, you had to practice what was on
the
card? Oh, okay.
It was only one sentence.
All right.
I think this is a delicious burger. It should help good with sales. That was on my card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was a terrible burger. It's not even here anymore. So I can only imagine the hoopla these people went through. Mm-hmm. And have you seen the video of the latest?
I have not, but I've heard about it. We had a bit of a discussion about it with
hilarious.
Bella's Ian.
Yeah.
We talked about it with him a little bit as we were talking about our next podcast.
Yeah. and it's uncomfortable to watch. So to be a CEO, you don't have to be a restaurant
Someone
person.
who eats a burger?
You don't, and he doesn't. And I apparently, from what I understand, is even when they were talking to him ahead of time, they went, well, what do you like to eat? And he's like, what do you mean, what do I like to eat? Well, what do you eat? He goes, I like fish. Like
not the fillet of fish
not
either.
the fillet of fish either. No,
he wants the real, probably
he makes enough money
raised.
he makes enough money to afford delicious fish.
Yeah,
not just the gills
He's
and
not
eyeballs.
eating the minced fish,
like the gills and eyes and fish assholes that they deeply fry in bread. So he gets a hold of this burger, and it's the most awkward thing, and I'm sure all of you have seen it. But I'm going to take a big bite, and this is going to be my lunch. And he bites it, and he barely gets through the bread.
But what was he? He recorded himself. So was this for a commercial?
Somebody did it.
Was it for to post on social media?
Well, it was a social media kind of a release.
Okay.
There was a team of people behind it. A team of people approved
who didn't do him any favors.
Didn't do him any favors, and approved it after it was recorded and said,
and he had to have seen himself.
Yes. Yeah, we should put this out.
I'm going to have to watch it now.
Oh, you do?
All I know is from what I heard, it didn't seem like he enjoyed what he ate. But what they could have done in hindsight, if he didn't want to eat the hooves and buttholes and everything else that they consider beef,
beef-like,
is take a chunk out of the patty, leave the bread and everything else. So when he bit into it, he would have got like, I don't know, lettuce, whatever else is on it, tomato, and the bun, and it would have looked like he ate the meat.
Well, if you really think about it, and this just occurs to me just now, do you remember how, I thought it was Bella who looked up one time, like when they prepare food for pictures, it's not actually food at all. It's like plastic and spray and wax and everything else. I'm like, so, I mean, I guess to their credit, they did give him food, I mean, of some sort. That was interesting. And now the other CEOs have picked up on it, and they are having a blast. It is great. Burger King was the first one that stepped up and said, oh, here we go. I'm going to have a big bite of my burger. And I mean, everybody, Arby's, KFC, CEOs I never realized even existed, just coming out of the woodwork and having a great time. Restaurants we've never heard of. So at the very least, there is no such thing as bad press.
Did he say afterwards?
Did
he have any rebuttal or any feedback to what people were saying about him not looking like he enjoyed?
I have not heard any. And to be fair, right, if there really is no such thing as bad press,
I mean, really, people are talking about it,
and they're buying it to try it for themselves.
Yeah.
And apparently some people actually are enjoying it. It has a considerable amount of beef on it. So it's a half pound of beef.
But it's the same kind. Well, I'm asking you like you've researched this, but you haven't.
But it's McDonald's beef is all the same kind of.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Is it like a deluxe?
I wouldn't imagine. It's
less hooves.
Hoof.
I don't know.
80% less hoof.
Yeah.
But at the very least, there's a half pound of it, which is a lot of meat.
Here's a fun fact for you. I have never had like a quarter pounder, Big Mac, double cheeseburger ever. I've had a McDonald's burger probably.
Oh, are you willing to have one?
No.
Oh, that could have been our next.
Ago.
That could have been something for the show. You could have brought you a Big Mac. Big Macs are delicious.
But yeah, I've never had that.
And Big Macs are considerably smaller than they were back in the day too.
And I've never had larger than a 6-piece nugget, which I haven't had that in probably 20 years.
Yeah. No, it's not delicious. It's not. I guess the shame of it is, and it really breaks my heart. I used to really love it as a kid, especially.
Beef or more beef.
It was more beef-like. But as a kid, you love McDonald's, and it was the experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
I basically what they taught us, and really this really was the most accurate thing I learned. I went to McDonald's manager school. That was another great weekend of investing my life into that. But what do they sell? We sell hamburgers, we sell fries. No. You sell happiness. That's what you're selling. You're selling the experience of going to McDonald's. The kids get excited because they have a hamburger and a toy and all this other stuff, and there's these flavors and shakes and sugar and salt, and you are selling happiness. You're not selling necessarily these products. You're selling the experience, and that's what the people buy. So the food's bad for you. Mm-hmm. And at my age, it doesn't taste good anymore. It doesn't do me any favors because it's heartburn, and if you eat too much and it's diarrhea, it's just terrible. But it was the experience of we're going to McDonald's, and now the prices.
Although I know the prices are not good, but they also I read something, they now have like a $3 menu or a $4 menu.
They're revisiting the value meal, apparently.
Get people more enticed.
I guess.
I used to, when I worked at Publix, I remember like what you're saying about the enjoyment. That's why you go for, I remember like looking forward to, okay, like whatever, once a week I'm going to have McDonald's on my lunch break.
Yeah.
And I legitimately looked forward to it.
Here's a question for you. Next door to your high school right now today is a McDonald's. Was it there when you were in high school?
No.
No. Okay.
No, but I do remember leaving school quite a bit with my friend, Corrine. We would go to McDonald's, but not that one.
Yeah.
We would leave school and we weren't supposed to. And sometimes if the gate was open.
Your daughter watches this show.
Well, I'm being
no, she
honest.
probably doesn't.
If the gate was open,
Yeah.
we would go back. Like we would eat
okay.
and go back. If the gate was closed, we're like, hell no, because we're going to be in trouble if we try to get back in.
Right.
So we just didn't go back.
No, okay.
So it was a good time.
And that's what it was. It was the experience. But no, and the funny part is I don't think Bella even watches any of this.
Yeah, she might.
She's not going to watch it.
But anyway, the CEO and you have anything else to say on the McDonald's?
No, it was just
food
interesting to watch how that just completely took over. Amongst all the real news stories or whatever is that's out and about and available, this thing just grew a pair of legs on its own and just completely took off. But another thing that hit the news that was something that if we weren't told it was happening, you'd completely miss it, is daylight saving time. And it's not savings time. Mm-hmm. It's not. And that's the one thing is for years we've all said it, daylight savings time. And apparently it's not. Daylight saving time, it doesn't even sound right.
It doesn't sound proper, but it's like when people say, I'm going to Walmart's. No, it's not plural. You're not going to multiple Walmart stores.
You might if you can't find what you
I don't
need.
hear people say I'm going to Target's. It's Walmart's. Why they plural, make that plural and not other.
It reminds me of my
that's a pet
father who
peeve. It's a pet
massacres a lot
peeve.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
My father massacres a lot of titles of
Yeah.
things. Hey, we're going over to the, he'll say whatever, the
Yeah.
something. You're like, it's not the something.
Anyway,
But
carry on.
even on our list that we wrote it down, it was written down as daylight savings time is what you wrote.
Yeah, because I did think it was daylight
Yeah.
savings time until you told me, no,
Yeah,
it's
and you have to
not
look it up, and it's
daylight
just one of those. Yeah.
saving time.
But a useless, really, in this day and age, a useless factor of everyday
But is
life.
it, and I say that because I thought that too. Like, why don't we just make it meet in the middle, a half hour?
Yeah, I
this
like
way
that.
we don't keep changing the clocks back. But
Right.
I thought we saw something on TV the other night about what time the sunrise and sunset would be at different parts, even
Yes.
just in the United States, if they
If they
time didn't change. Like the sunrise was going to be at like 4:30 in the morning at some places, and then
Yeah.
here it wasn't going to be because you wouldn't be able to have morning sunrise coffee
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
when you do
Because
that.
the sunrise would be at like 8 o'clock or
Yeah.
something along those lines. At the end of it, if you really think about it, around the world, there are countries and cultures that have months where the sun doesn't come up or down. I mean, so if we're just being nitpicky about, we are American, we want our sun to come up at
This
this
is
time.
recording, right?
Yeah, see a little timer right there?
Okay. I don't see it on there. And
It's
I know
not
I
on
brought
here.
that up
You-
before. Okay. I
yeah.
know I did last time. It's been a couple months. But
Yep.
anyway, sorry to interrupt.
That's
I just
okay.
wanted to make sure it was recording.
But I just think it's fun how, we have cultures and, honestly, probably even Alaska. I think Alaska goes in like a month or two at a time where the sun just doesn't go down or doesn't come up. And yet
No
we
thanks.
want our sun up at 7 and we want our sun down at 8 p.m. And that's the way we're going to do it. And we're going to change our clocks. But to me, it's just one of those. Now your body has, that first day is horrible. Everybody, and I don't know, were you tired that day? Because
I don't think so.
everybody I worked with was a completely bad mood, just not doing well. Everybody was exhausted just from the weird, you get up and the sun's not there and you're like, what in the hell are we doing? And yeah.
So what would you suggest? What's your
I'd say let's just split it down the middle or pick one or the other. I personally am not a fan of summertime time. I don't care for the sun to stay up late. There's nothing good that happens after 9 o'clock anyway.
Well, it's not up that late. Like right now it's 20 to 8 and
Yeah.
I mean, it's still sunny. It'll probably be another half hour.
Probably.
It'll be dark. So
Probably. I enjoy a nice early sundown because it reminds me of Christmas and Christmas time and Christmas shopping and you're going out in the dark and things of that nature. And then you're having
and
a
move
nice...
up north. It's dark a lot more than it is
I
here.
came from there. That place
Yeah,
is
I know.
horrible. I don't want to go back to that. But no, I'd rather have a nice early sun up. I have my coffee. I go start my day.
Yeah. How do you drink your coffee? Well, what do you put in your coffee?
The most natural cream I can find. So at work, it's not natural at all. It's all chemicals. And at home, we have there's only 4 ingredients and 2 of them are milk and cream. And I think there's like a something other in there, but it's a very natural cream.
Yeah, I think it's called like simple something.
Simple
right?
something, yeah. And then there's what is the
stevia.
stevia sweetener, because at the end of it, I don't even know what's good for me anymore.
What happened there?
Oh, that's just the cursor.
Oh, okay.
That's no big deal. But I don't know what's good for me, so I don't know what to put in. I know people do black coffee, and that's fantastic for them, and I'm glad that they can experience that.
Yeah, I was impressed when Ian was drinking black coffee.
It's not pleasurable at all.
Well, I think if people don't like it sweet, it's just more bitter.
Mine's a little bit bitter, but that's how I like my soda. I love bitter soda.
So you put in, what would you, a tablespoon?
A tablespoon of the sweetener, and then a tablespoon of the creamer. Just enough to fill up the spoon, and then I don't think it's a measuring tablespoon. I think our tablespoon, are they? Like if I take a measuring cup tablespoon and a tablespoon out of the drawer, the silver one that stirs the coffee, is that the same? I don't think that's the same amount of liquid. We'll have to try it someday. Yeah,
it looks like it's less.
It looks like it's less to me too. So just a little bit of each, pop, get it in there.
But how much of the sweetener? I'm asking. No, it's funny because I've never made you coffee.
Yeah, no, it's just you take the spoon and you just put like 3/4 full of the spoon into that, and then I always put the cream and sugar in first, and then I pour the coffee in.
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't want to have dirty spoon in my sweetener.
Ah, okay. Well, just last week or the week before, I asked you to show me how you make your coffee. Obviously, I'm not the one drinking coffee around here.
Yeah, and I used to never drink it, and then I just got wrapped up in this job, and now that's how I live.
Now you're a coffee drinker.
Now you have to have it. I know those people make the jokes.
I was going to say it helps keep some people like regulated too. Digestion. So 1
coffee, 1 kombucha. Oh yeah, you poop you right out. You're going to be good. You poop enough every day.
We should make kombucha. I say that, although I know it's not easy.
No, it's not easy, and it smells like hell. Yeah, we're not.
But I do like the one that you get.
Yeah.
Like the dragon fruit one's good too, but
it's
I prefer what is it?
The apple.
The apple.
Yeah, the apple one.
It's got a different name though. It's not just called apple.
There's a
Fuji
crisp something apple. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Either way, it's bitter. It's got a vinegary kind of a kick to it, but it cleans you right out. So that's what you need to get through.
Price.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what you got to do at this age.
Really.
Oh, and the next one up. So for the followers of the show and people who watch us on the social medias of all the different outlets that we have, what I try to do is I try to make a video and I put it out to all of the platforms. And I don't know if if they all interlink or what they do, but one platform will take any video you make and just skyrocket it, and the rest of them just kind of sit and just fizz out. Mm-hmm. So it just depends. So if I hit, what do we got? We have the Facebook, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I think that's all of them. Either way, any video you make, one of them, just thousands of views. The rest of them, 30, 40, 150, a couple hundred. One of them every video. So we had the one that I made the other day, where being a person who wants to be involved in radio and a person who wants radio to still survive through everything else in Southwest Florida has had and what I can only describe as a monopoly-like attack on the companies and businesses down here, where broadcast companies, the Fort Myers Broadcasting Company and Sun Broadcasting Incorporated or company or whatever they're called, one owns Wink and another one owns, let me think if I can get this right. They own a series of radio stations and television channels in the area. And there were those two. And then there was Beasley, who owned the radio stations, along with different other entities that had different media. And we found out only by doing an interview at the fire department that Fox was getting bought out by Wink. And I thought, well, that's weird. How do you do that? Mm-hmm. And then we get back into it. And what I called the video was Follow the Money, where Fort Myers Broadcasting Company went in and bought all of the Beasley radio stations out of South Fort Myers. So they bought all their assets. So they came in, they bought the building, the antenna, all the channels. Now, the channels are still in existence, and most of them have stayed the same. 2 of them I have found have been deleted. The rest of them are basically the same. So you as the customer don't have any idea. But people will tell us, and then especially on a podcast platform, that radio is dying. They paid, I think it was... was it $9 million for the radio stations? And I'm like, well, what did you get with it? But
Yeah.
either way, so they paid $9 million, and then they paid $40 million apparently for Fox. But then, like, one entity couldn't afford both of those bills, so they took their money and they put it together, and they're starting to just, like Pac-Man, they're eating all the little channels around the area. And I got thinking, at what point do you have a monopoly on your hands? And come to find out, I guess the FCC, who is supposed to control all of this, has loosened the reins on what can and can't be done.
Oh.
Which isn't good for us as the people receiving news. One of the things that we were just talking about before the show started is, I mean, like right now, the country's at war with Iran. We hear things that come from the news. You don't know what's accurate, what's not accurate.
You kind of have to watch contrasting stations
Right.
to get a feel for the truth.
Yes.
So the fewer contrasting stations, it's back to what you were saying about being a monopoly. If they're all going to feed the same information, doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean it's true, but we'll have nothing else to compare it against.
Right. And then you're just accepting the fact is that what you're getting is the truth. And sometimes that might not be the case. And then in this research that I was doing, one very disturbing fact that I did not know until I started digging into it is the largest investor in advertisement for news channels. It's Big Pharma.
Oh, God, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Because
All of the older, well, I'm going to guess, all of the older people who use medications typically more than the younger people watch the news.
yeah, keep going. Where does your brain go next?
Well, this is where my brain goes.
Yeah.
That some of these diseases and things that are being treated chronically with medication probably have a real cure, but because Big Pharma funds the commercials, then obviously they want to keep supplying the drugs. So what's the incentive to come up or share the cure when they won't have need all those commercials anymore?
And the last one that I'll offer you is when something goes horribly wrong, there's horrible side effects, things go south, Big Pharma, big money, all this dirty stuff that happens. What? Your news isn't going to report on it. They're the ones who are paying all the bills. You won't get the bad news out of that industry if they're the main contributors to your advertisement.
True.
Yeah.
So wait, you looked that up? Who was the biggest?
It was just the whole
How'd you
conglomerate of
find
big.
that about the
Because when I
pharma?
started looking at the FCC and how they can regulate what channels can go where and who advertises to what.
That kind of reminds me of what you said about the FCC, like loosening the reins. So years ago, the hospital system in this area, like you couldn't, besides Lee Health, I don't know, Naples, what is it? Naples?
NCH. Yeah.
They couldn't say, oh, we're going to come to Cape Coral and we're building a hospital. There had to be what was called a certificate of need because you can't just decide back then, I'm going to build a hospital. Now, well, for a while now, I'm going to say 5 years, that has been lifted. So anybody can come into Lee County where they couldn't before and say, I'm going to build a hospital or I'm going to do this type of medical center.
The freestanding ERs.
Yes.
They're all over.
But that reminds me of what you're saying about the FCC loosening the reins. Whoever the powers that be are that regulated the certificate of need for the healthcare systems or specifically the hospitals, loosen the reins on that. So probably the FCC probably got some kickback for saying, okay, you know what, we won't, we're going to loosen
Somebody
the
knows
reins.
somebody who knows somebody. And at the end of the day, that's really how the most of the world works,
But
as much as you'd hate to admit it.
I will say, if anyone listening knows, because I've really been challenged with this, trying to find a station or a person or a website to truly get the factual news, not so like back in the old days when I was a kid, and I may just be recalling this incorrectly, I feel like the news was the news.
Yes.
Regardless of the channel it was on. It was more fact-based. It wasn't as opinion-based as it can be now, or the way it's deterred to make you think one way based off of the snips that they're showing you.
Right.
And nowadays anyways, back to what I was saying was I wish there was a place or places I could go to get the true facts, and I don't know where those are. And I've tried looking it up. meaning like on the internet. I've posted on a couple of like social media groups saying like, where do people get the truth?
And it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, back when, if you go even further, just before you and I started watching the news, there was like Walter Cronkite, and he'd sit up there with his suit on every night with a cigarette in his hand, and he would just read the news.
It was probably sponsored by the tobacco companies.
Probably back then. I mean, do we really, at the end of the day, it's the control of information and the control of power. I mean, it really is what are you going to do? You've got to take what you can control or what you can, handle in your own life, and that's all you can worry about. Now, do we worry about Iran? Sure, but am I going to do anything to change it? I'm going to give my support to the United States of America, and that's about as far as I can go with it. So we
can talk about that a little bit on another podcast.
Yeah. But it's just like the news and the thing of what are you going to do, and that's why even with local news, I don't even watch local news anymore.
I stopped watching the news because it was too depressing.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean,
you don't lead. So what I will watch is Good Morning America because that's lighter. They're going to give
Michael Strahan?
Yeah.
National treasure.
They're going to give you some information, but it's more like positive and upbeat stories than doom and gloom. Whereas if you sit down, because I tried last week watching the nightly news. I was like, oh my God.
You can't
like,
do it.
There's a reason it's on at 6 or 6:30 because you got to get that shit out of your head before you try to go to bed.
A couple hard drinks in you before you can watch the local news. And these are the people in your neighborhood. And I think that to me is that to me is what bothers me the most. Is that I understand, at least in my line of work, I will see the things that happen in my neighborhood and I have to process that. But when it's like, it's actually on the television and everybody sees it, and this is just common now. And the fact that it's common now, I think, is the part that breaks my heart the most.
But to your point, it's not good that I don't think that they merged. People lost their jobs.
Yes, a lot of people. Quality people.
I don't think with much notice.
No.
And I know during the hurricanes when we've had them, I'm kind of digressing, but I felt peace in a sense when Matt Devitt was the one on the TV, like nonstop, like the guy didn't go home. And I know there's all different things that were said about him with he wasn't getting back to work on time or he wanted to do things different. I don't know what it was but whether it was true or not, but it was a big loss when they
and unfortunately
chose to release him.
We were able to get some of the real stories as far as being on the inside. We know some news people. Unfortunately, in Matt's case, it wasn't just Matt. So, I think that was the problem. It wasn't just Matt, but it was also Matt made a few mistakes on his part that he really didn't have to make, but he made a decision and he went with it. So was that.
Sorry,
text messages
I'm having a check from our child.
Let's see. I'm going to turn my beeper off. But that was that. What else was on? You're welcome to this is it. This is what
sorry.
we're doing.
And then the other thing that I had as a possible talking point was totally different. But how do you know when to leave something? And when I say something, it could be a job, a relationship, a city, a car dealership, a friendship.
I don't think there's a single metric. I think it's sensitive to the subject, or it's sensitive to the subject matter that it is. So I'm going to leave a car dealership well before I leave a job, or I'm going to leave everything else before I leave my marriage. So there's a measuring post. That's a fair question. I think because I didn't really see this question ahead of time. I think
surprise.
It's okay. This is the best thing for the show, right? Because you're getting a raw reaction. You have a set of values and you have a set of priorities. And in those, some are negotiable and some are not. And when you start getting into the operation of the non-negotiables is when you have to look in the mirror and go, okay, I can't do this anymore. I think that's what it is. So car dealership's easy. Hey, I don't like this price. This guy's not going to work with me. I'm not going to pay this price for this car. Non-negotiable. I'm out of here. We're done. Or as like a job, man, I make a lot of good money. I make good money right now. I've got good benefits and I don't like what I do, but you know what? Where else am I going to go and get this? I guess I'm going to go ahead and suck it up a little bit more. I'm not compromising my morals. I'm not compromising my non-negotiables. So I'm going to show up to do the best I can do. I'm going to get my paycheck and that's my hush money and I'm going to go home. Same thing with marriage is I think that the holy grail of it all, where it's though you do work every day. And I think you and I work every day and make our marriage great. And that to have something ever happen where it was like, okay, this is not negotiable when something has gone way, way awry. So there's a lot of work that gets done. So you do a lot more work on that versus doing just a little bit of work at the day at the car dealership. What do you think?
That's a good way to explain it.
That's just what came off the top of my head.
I think for me, and I don't always listen to it, it's my intuition. Like gives me a nudge, like speak up, do this needs to change. What about that? But then there are times, I know, especially in jobs I've had before, where you get the nudge and then you're like, well, maybe I can make it better. Or maybe it's not so. Maybe I need to be more optimistic about this and find the good in it. Or is it that stressful? Maybe it's me. Like,
is it the fear of the unknown?
Yes.
That too.
I think definitely it's that too. But I just was interested in your perspective on, like, how do you know when it's time to move on from something?
You're going to announce it. I'm leaving. I've got my bags packed. And she's going to
want half the podcast.
Yeah, here you go. 2 microphones and a computer. It's your half.
I don't know. And it does vary depending on the topic. Some are definitely more big deals than others. But
I am quick to leave things that don't matter. There's been a lot of projects we've done at work, committees that I've been on, that they just didn't work out. I'm done. I'm out. I go.
Do you think as we get older that we, with experience, and for people even older than us, feel like differently about it than someone in their 20s, like what you're willing to like put up with, or the glass is more full than empty type
I think
process?
The two things I would think of is, one, like you had said, life experience. Once you experience a few changes, you understand that maybe it's not always bad on the other side. And two, you realize that your time is much shorter on this earth in your 80 or in your 60s than it is in your 20s. And you know what? I don't have to put up with this anymore.
Yeah.
You and I have saved a substantial amount of money. We if the economy stopped tomorrow, we'd still be okay for quite a little bit of time. And I think that is what the tolerance really comes to. Like
that's a good point. That's a good point.
What you must tolerate because of, not even lifestyle change, but surviving.
Well, and especially people who live paycheck to paycheck. They can't say, they may be like, fuck this job, but that's the one that's keeping a roof over their head and food on the table. And if there isn't a security of saved money somewhere for, okay, I can afford to pay for things for X number of months if I do leave my job, they can't leave.
In 1999, when I bought my first house, like I was working 2 full-time jobs, and it was horrible. I had a half day off every 28 days or something like that. The way it worked, I mean, it was constant. But I realized I've signed up for this. I have to live, and this is what it costs to live, and I have no other options. And they were 2 entry-level positions. And at the time, it was just a grocery store clerk and a McDonald's guy. And those are the 2 jobs I had when I moved to Florida.
Well, and for me, not even financially based, but I have had, by my choosing, to sever relationships with family members, which has, well, one of them has a lot to do with money, but we don't have to go into that one. We know who that person is. I was just going to say, should I just say his initials? But for the other ones, which sounds terrible, those were just more, they sucked the life out of me. It was
They went into
people
your
consume or enhance your life. That's the easiest way for me to sum it up.
Either bring you up or bring you down.
Right.
100%.
And if they're consuming more than they're enhancing, or you're not getting any value, or you're not feeling good about being around them, or they constantly are taking from you, you shouldn't have them in your life. That's just my perspective. Family, friends, people at work, whatever.
Right.
And it's terrible to look at it that way, but I guess after the experiences that I've had, I have friends who are more family, and you know who they are to me, than my family ever was.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is your family's assigned to you, and your friends are the ones you select. And I think there's more value in the ones you select versus the ones you're assigned. Yeah,
and I do have some great family members. I wish some of them lived
but
closer.
But if you look at it like, 5, 6, 7 generations ago, you needed your family to survive because you lived out in the Wild West and somebody had to work the back 40 on the farm, and so everybody would have food.
That's why they needed daylight saving time.
Oh, there you go. And everything comes full circle. But I think that's the point, is now is that we live everybody can be self-sufficient, so you can choose who you want to be around and who you want to enhance your life versus taking away.
Well, how long have we been chatting here?
Well, we can wrap this up. I can't read that. Can you read that little number? I have bifocals now, but I don't have them on.
I can't 39? Read it, but it's 35? Because I have my contacts in. Oh, if I didn't have them in, I think I'd be able
it says
to read it.
35-ish. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But we can wrap it up. We just went full circle.
Yeah, and maybe we'll record another one.
Yeah, we can do one tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do another one in a few minutes.
Ooh, there you go.
Imagine that. 2 in a row.
Oh, boy. That would be
it's your lucky day, and I mean in a different way. Than
And that's what we're going to need the break for. All right, we'll be right back in 3.5 minutes. Right.
I was going to say 7.
Well, I guess there's foreplay. All right, let's hope Bella doesn't watch the show.
Anyway.
Well, everybody, thanks again for joining us.
I'm Lori.
And I'm Jason, and this has been another Very Terrible Podcast.